Hello, how are you? It's Ching. We're going to learn focus 8 out of the 9. Isn't that great? You have learned so much already from the focus 1 posture and the breath, right? How to use different parts of the body, or the missing foundation, right? We call it fundamental that we're supposed to learn as we learn everything else. So this is our ABC. So what's happening is we're putting all these puzzle pieces. Why we get injured? Because we didn't know how to use it correctly. And maybe we didn't have the technique right? So we have to kind of go to a clean slate and start from the ground one, because there's a long life to go yet. You're gonna learn it right. It will last for a long, long time. Okay, so today, remember the last one, the focus 7 was talking about the scapula movement. Now the 8th one, his buddy, we call it best relationship. I call it best marriage. You know how hard marriage is, right? So it's not easy. So you have to pray, you have to know each other. So the best marriage relationship, it's in the glenohumerus joint. So there's a little bit, remember this one? Makeshift scapula, right? So you have this glenohumerus joint. So humor is most injured site, and because we didn't understand, you also heard about they always diagnose you rotator cuff tear. So when my client comes to rotator cuff tear, I say, do you know which one? So there are 4 muscles there, okay? You have the top, so this is scapula. We're going to just talk about muscle a little bit. Then we talk about their movement, because there's a movement for the arm, but because it's a marriage, it does involve the scapula, okay? So the relation, this is whole body's relay, right? So, so right here, that's your scapula, that's the bone. There's a little ridge here. You can feel it. If you touch right here, you can feel that ridge. Can you feel that? Straight bone. It's the spine of the scapula, okay? The spine of the scapula connecting. It's just protruding out, okay? So that is kind of, can you tell, up and down. Above that, you have supraspinatus, superior of this. Supraspinatus goes all the way to front. That's the one you injure the most, okay? So supraspinatus, down here you have infraspinatus. It's the little fossa right here, like little indentation, so muscle hiding right here. You can see in the chicken too, right? Sorry, the tiny little muscle, it's really important. So there's infraspinatus, inferior of the spine of the scapula. Infraspinatus and teres minor. Of course, they're teres major, but teres major is not a rotator cuff muscle, so I'm not going to say it. So infraspinatus and teres minor, okay? They do exactly same movement. We're going to talk about later. And underneath, you already know, called the subscapulary. Sub, like a submarine. It's underneath, right? It's between your rib cage and inside. So remember, I say when you do the scapular movement, you're massaging the subscapulary and what else? Serratus anterior, because that's going to keep your scapula down, okay? So when you do push-out, it doesn't wings out. We will talk all about that when it comes. This is just foundation. We have so many exercises to come. So one step at a time, okay? And this is the most important, because we don't learn it enough. We jump right into, right? Playing sports, racket sports, all that. So that's why you injure ski, right? And everything you do, even building the house, carpentry, it's a lot of arms. Chef, a lot of arms. Pianist, you know, bassoon, whatever instrument, wherever you do, rock climbing, and they all use so much arms. So that's, right, figure out the arm and scapula relationship. Okay, so that's the 4 muscle, we call it sits muscle. So S, supraspinatus, okay, SITS, right? So infraspinatus, teres minor, subscapulary. You got 4 muscles to support, okay, in the scapula, on the scapula. All 4 muscles, they have different movement, but they all sharing one thing: stabilization. So what? The cuffs come out to here, to your humerus, okay? So it moves your arm. but does not move the scapula because it didn't go up to your neck. So when you move your arm, what does it say? You have to keep your scapula neutral. That's the whole thing. So you remember I say there's 8 movement, okay? So we're really nice to understand the relationship, right? You know, puzzle pieces put together as one. So, right, 650 skeletal muscle for you to put all together, be fair, okay? So here we go. I'm turned sideways, 5 checkpoint. I'm standing so you can see better. You can do this sitting down too. Just have a good posture. Always form a good posture because you have to work with the breath, okay? So inhale, prepare. Exhale, I'm going to shake hand with somebody, right? I'm reaching up. Okay, so I'm reaching forward. This is called flexion. I'm flex my arm forward. See, I'm not going to move my scapula because those muscles on the scapula, the upper trap stuff, they don't move the arm. They connect to the scapula. So I want to move the arm. So rotator cuff, deltoid, the front, middle, and the back, pec major, okay, latissimus dorsi, they are going to synergize, work with it, but definitely not the trap muscles. The upper trap, will lift the scapula up and elevate the scapula. Remember the partner of crime. And lower trap, depress the scapula down with the pec minor. Okay, so but now those are done. We're going to move on right now. Okay, so we're going to flex forward. And if you have flexion, you have extension. So I'm here. I'm getting ready, right? Put on for the relay. So I'm going right and start running. And that's your arm. That's not your scapula. So you're not going to wait like this. You lose because you look like a loser. I'm sorry. Okay? So posture is so important, right? I supposed to say, I can read your posture. I know you're lying or facial expression, right? That's how easy they can tell about us. It's kind of sad too, right? So here we go. So don't give yourself out. So that's extension. The extension doesn't go very high, but don't do that. That's my scapula protracting. So this is what? This is when you might, in the martial art, they will do this to self-defense and grab you and go like this, right? So you kind of lock yourself. Don't do that. Don't lock yourself. Okay, so flexion and the extension, you want to open your chest because I'm moving my arm. I'm not retry the scapula right now, okay? You can, but the problem is if you do that, you really have to pay attention to this rib cage, okay? So thoracic spine. You learn flexion, extension now, okay? If I go all the way forward, shake hand, reaching back, relay. So things you can relate to. So now, ABDUCTION of the arm. Abduction is going away from the center line. AD is added back in. I can do abduction both arms and here. I'm going to turn sideways, okay? So when I reach my arm to the side, I'm going to keep my scapula neutral, right? So when I reach inside, it's slightly diagonal forward. So if I turn my palm facing front, because when you go, this is called second position, you're going to see why later. So you can do palm down, palm up, palm to each other, or palm back, because that forearm can change and this rotation can change a little bit too. So it gets a little tricky, okay? It's not square, you know, that's why you go to the gym, everything really square, up and down, and down. We're not designed that way. It's always spiral. So abduction, what muscle did you just feel? Deltoid, especially the middle one, right? So did you see my scapula move? No, has nothing to do with them. The mid trap, okay, what I call the middle brother, upper trap, big brother, mid traps, middle brother, lower trap, youngest brother. The middle brother always get blaming for everything. So if I go up, remember the partner of crime is the upper trap did that. It's not your shoulder. Okay, so middle brother will say, I work with the rotator cuff. We stabilize the shoulder. Got 5 muscles stabilize the shoulder. You know, 4 rotator cuff and the mid trap. Isn't that cool? You just need to know that. Okay, so if you don't know, you know now. So that's the whole thing. Stay open, you learn so much. And I do too. So from here, you can feel deltoid. That's abduction and adduction. 2 about, see, my arms lower, 5 degrees lower. So when when I'm facing front, that looks really good. And I hold, my world is right here. Okay? Guess what happened if I going back? That's not your second position. Remember, that's extension with the abduction. We'll talk about that later, because everything interweaving together. So we just go square first. Abduct, adduct, flexion, extension. Okay, I'm going to bend my elbow, medial rotate, laterally rotate. It's hard to see if I go straight. So I bend my elbow, the movements come from here. It's not my fist. Okay, what's medial mean? It goes to the midline of my body. It goes away from the midline. Remember, away from the midline is called laterally. You can also say internally rotate or externally rotate. But I like to challenge myself, say L, because for Chinese, L and R and TH is really, really hard to pronounce. So I keep saying laterally rotate, just get my pronunciation correctly, and go and return, okay? So you have 6 movements already. What's the 7th and 8th? Okay, it's when you close the curtain, opening the curtain, close the sliding door, opening sliding door. So that movement right here. Okay, you close, close, close. So what happened? This, when you come to the midline, is an AB or adduction. AD, so it's called a horizontal adduction, horizontal abduction, right? So you're gonna go through the crowd, you know, so you're leading people, say, out, getting out, make room, right? So here we go. That's horizontal AB, just don't push. Horizontal abduction and horizontal adduction. Come on over my house, right? Come on over. So, so when you do things, what's that movement now? Anyway, so now you apply to your life. Here comes the trick. So all the movement I just show you is below the shoulder, right? The height is below the shoulder. So it's easy to stabilize the scapula. So the scapula has, you know, the 6 movement. This is Chinese 6, so it's easier. I use one hand. So the scapula has another last 2 movement we'll call up rotate, downward rotate. Why they have that? So it support. That's the marriage, right? That's the deep marriage. I'm going to support you, okay? So your husband say, your husband's 40 and says, I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to study medical. There's another 8 years. You go, okay, I guess I need to support you. But I'm sorry, I just use that for joke. And right, we all support each other because our life is so much longer. Some of us can change a couple different careers, and depends. I did too, right? From dancing to wellness. They really related. So upper rotated scapula, so my arm can go up higher. So the beauty is I'm using that rotation now, spiral. You know, see how beautiful? This is human. Jumping jack is the worst exercise. Ha, 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 right? So that looks so robot. And then the arm, leg goes too. You jam right into the hip socket, right? And no one tell you to engage your first responder. So you, right? So frantically bypass this education to copy. I'm so sorry. I take that exercise right out. But if you love it, you want to know why you're doing it for. There's always a purpose. What is the purpose? What's the reason? What's the result, right? So that's why I keep calling the purposeful movement. Okay, so now I'm going to turn around so you can see my scapula. Remember I say hold on that point. So I'm going to reach my arm right here. When I go up, you're going to see that there's a lateral rotation in the shoulder joint comes up. And it comes here, your medial rotate comes in. So those are the drop of the 4 rotator cuff. The subscapulary inside the scapula connects to the front. It's amazingly counter. So it does medially rotate. And the front deltoid too, and a little of the pec major. So those muscle works as a group, okay? But the primary muscle, the one does the most, and they have a good team, right? So we also have to have a team to do things together. So here, so that's medial rotate, subscapulary. The subscapulary does medial rotate and stabilize the scapula at the same time. because you don't want to do this. Can you see that? You don't want the scapula comes up. Remember, there are 5 muscles get stabilized, so you look pretty. You know how to move. So we're dancing, right? I don't, oh, I'm dancing, right? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make fun. I'm just saying it doesn't look so good. Okay. So now that's medially rotate. And when you go out, remember I say laterally rotate. Who does laterally rotate? INFARSPINATUS, TERES minor, the posterior deltoid support, okay? So now when come up, deltoid fired up, and also supraspinatus, the one on the top, okay, does little abduction, right? The abduction about 15 degree. Deltoid kicks in, the proton over, and then laterally rotate. INFARSPINATUS, TERES minor goes all the way up. Look how beautiful that movement subscapular comes in medial rotate. So that rotation work with this scapula does what? Upper rotate. So when the scapula upper rotate, this is just a piece of paper. So it's even the skeletal, when I do it, it just doesn't get the point. So that's why I love for you to experience your body first. So I say, feel the corner, right? And feel how it disappear, come back. Now you're gonna feel, you can see my deltoid right away. Okay, I'm gonna do one more time. So from here, I deep tight. Can you see that rotation? Can you see my arms spiral up? And so if I have 2 arms here, this is a victory. Hallelujah, right? Not here. It's not hallelujah. See? Forehead, all the wrong things goes. My first responder is out of the job. He's supposed to watch everybody. Okay, so here we go. Now, you definitely don't want to do like this to play tennis. You know how bad it is? You're going to rip so many things. Anyway, it's okay because you focus on that ball. I want you to focus on the body. Okay, so you ready? This is how we use it. Okay, turn it slightly side. Bend your elbow first so it's not so heavy. I'm reaching forward. This what? Flexion. Rotation into abduction. So horizontal abduct. Extension. And come back. So this little movement here, okay, is massaging that glenohumerus joint. So if you had a rotator cuff injury, I will start with this right away. I'll teach what I just taught you to explaining to my client what happened, okay? And of course, I do history first. You play racket sports. What happens? Some people fell right from ski. You know, you support yourself. You can jam in there. It's okay. Or rock climbing. My grandson does rock climbing, so he just hurt himself. And actually, he fell, so he hurt his foot and the heel, both of them. So anyway, and a month ago it was his shoulder, so he does everything. I tell him, he's such a good kid, 24 years old, and listen to grandmother. Right? Very is priceless. So ready? Here we go. And so that's it. So you got all this movement. Guess what? We're going to release my arm. Watch this slow movement. I release my arm. It's like folding out, right? And I go back to neutral. You already have the natural rotation. That's how amazing our body is. You just have to pay attention. Now, I'm pointing forward, okay? Remember, I use point. Everybody use point right now. You will see my points about the point. Okay, so you point forward. So, oh my God, look at that car, or whatever. Oh, look at that, whatever you like to admire. So that's your front, okay? So now I'm going up. Now remember when my elbow went up. So from the flexion, continue go up. There's a rotation happen going up. Scapula stay home. I continue go. I'm reaching back diagonal a little bit because my elbow was. We're gonna extend. So I get a big stretch here. The back muscle, the back, can you see it's contracting, but just enough. Okay, my back and your back is right there. That's your true back, not there. Can you see that? I hurt myself. If you want to really point back, you have to rotate the body. But look at that, right? Look at that. You rotate the body. You're going to say, look at that. That doesn't work. So from here and comes down. You ready? We're going to do the whole thing. From the front to the top. Open the chest, don't lose this, and return. You're going to feel that joint now. nice massage, okay? It's not gonna be nice if you have an injury, right? So you do the bending one, half of the weight. Okay, now I'm gonna reverse. I'm bend my elbow. I'm going back, extension, horizontal abduction, laterally rotate, horizontal adduction, extension. All a movement is in this movement. This is how we appreciate the body. All the muscle is designed to work together. There's a stabilization, there's mobilization. Mobilization involved with the four rotator cuff or your deltoid, okay? So coming, now we're gonna release the whole arm, so it's heavier now. So if you're injured, don't do the whole arm. So remember, back is here without changing my body, right? Remember, stabilization, mobilization. I can feel the muscle in the back contract. You ready? I'm going to slide up, rotate the scapula, so laterally rotate. See, the marriage comes in and return. Again, you laterally rotate, up, rotate the scapula, so your arm can go up. Scapula doesn't. 5 muscle, stabilize the scapula. I feel like a salesperson. Here you go. I'm selling you your body. And return, go down. And goes all the way and return, right? We love to buy things. We want the smartphone, smart us crazily doing all this cray. But our body goes, right? No, bring back the smart mind and smart body. Smartphone, it will assist us, our life. But if we don't this, somebody designed a smartphone. I'm going to design smart body and the mind, okay? You too. So now I'm going to do the other arm. Let's try the other side. Inhale, hollow tummy, exhale. So stabilization. I have my 5 checkpoint. Inhale, don't go too high. And go. Just warming up, right? Warming up, don't go crazy. And exhale, release, right? That's why when we go to the restaurant, they give you hors d'oeuvre first to kind of clean the palate stuff, like tease the tummy, and you get the entree, all that stuff. Here comes the entree. So from here, reaching forward, see, I have to up rotate the scapula. So the point scapula went to the side. Okay, look where my arm is. I can be here. That's not a good movement. Can you see that? We want that. So I'm framing myself. You can cover. So some people like to do it because they're the ballet dancer. That's a style. I'm not talking about any style right now. I'm talking about organic, what your body can do without any style. Jazz, right? Whatever you want to do, you can change it. But where it comes from, the movement. So from here, we go very simple. We do very simple. Here we go. Right here. My scapula upper rotate, I laterally rotate, this arm comes up. And going forward, return. Again, reaching. Upper rotate the scapula so it's depressed. Laterally rotate in the shoulder joint comes up. And going forward, medial rotate, come back. From here, I medial rotate first a little bit. And then as soon as the scapula goes down, the best marriage, best relationship, and return. Doesn't matter. If you're not married, you find the best relationship with yourself, with this joint. It's just a relationship. The hardest is you and your own body relationship, right? We're full of disease. You know, diabetic type 2, dementia, you know, heart disease, all this can be what? Fixed, even cancer from lifestyle changing, okay? It's all metabolic disease. Metabolic condition change. So exercise is not just exercise. Exercise what? Is circulation, boosts your immune system, positive mind. Then you start eating better. Nutrition comes in, right? Breathing too. Okay, so here, you just learned that. So when I teach you exercise, there are 4 arm position. This is neutral. Reach arm side. Abduction, that's second position. I depress my scapula, laterally rotating shoulder joint. This is called the third position, right? I say victory. Hallelujah. See victory? Not there. More is not better. Right here. Then I'm going forward, this is first position. So my finger, if I round it a little bit, it's at the end. This is your sternum, okay, breastbone, the end, called the xiphoid process. That's my front. Preparatory, which is neutral, with the arm position, to second position, to the third position. Nice rotation, wake up all those rotator cuff muscle, and return. We can reverse to finishing up. So I turn a little bit and go to first position, my bundle, okay, my space. Inhale, because I learned to respect myself. I learned how to be strong, resilient, not angry, not tight, okay? So not extreme. So one of my friends tell me, so when you're strong, you let your hair down. You feel so comfortable within. Isn't that nice to say? So from here, I'm learning a lot of stuff. And shoulders down, coming up, okay? So I slightly laterally rotate to my third position, hallelujah. It's lined up kind of with your cheek, not your ear. Don't do stuff like this. You don't even know you're blocking the energy, but you think looks good, but it doesn't look good. You don't know. And medial rotate and return. Okay, so from here, one more time. And open, rotate medially and coming back and wiggle out. That's how you use your arm with the scapula. 5 muscles stabilize the scapula when you move your arm not high. Mostly we just do this much, okay? And the carpenter might go, right? If you have racket sports, you gotta go, right? So now if I go up, can you see I'm going up? I'm not going up. So I massage so many women with the tennis. This muscle, the mid-trap, is huge because the big brother keep using it. And then your rotator cuff muscle say, when are you gonna use me? Right? So use the right muscle, right? So what's the power goes out? It's actually your leg push. There's a lot to learn, okay? So but learn the foundation because no one taught us. You pick up a racket, you just start. You pick up the golf, rotate. You don't know what muscle rotate, you don't. So everybody rotate the shoulder, and not rooting. And you go with the golf club. I'm sorry. And okay, so that's it for today. And find your relationship, you and your body. Thank you so much. Take good care. Share, and if you use too much information, rewatch it again, right? And helping other people. If you hear like party people say, "Oh, rotate the cuff." My husband, daughter, I will show you something, or see if you can teach it to them. If you teach to them, you learn it twice, right? Jim Quick said that. I have a lot of mentors helping me to be where I am, so I will start mentioning their name too. So sharing the video, because that's love. When you have something good, you share, and you practice. So you're gonna set an example and make it work for yourself. Okay? If it doesn't work at the beginning, don't give up. And if you don't think I'm right, get book. I love the Trail Guide to the Body. Trail Guide to the Body. Maybe I'll write it out in the video. And to research some. If you hear something new, you don't believe it's right, you do your research. And that's how it is. And once you research, you feel good, it's yours, okay? So don't be led. My mentor, Dr. Yang, always say, don't be led. Check what I said, okay? You check what I say too. You can always correct me with a comment, or, you know, we can have a little bit of conversation and figure out, because I like to learn too. And thank you so much. Take good care.